When I heard this testimony from somebody who was on the witness stand for George Floyd, I said I had to come on here and talk about this. Not realizing that I already talked about him in my live stream that I recently did. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but it's probably, hopefully I can put it up real soon, considering how recent it is. In my live stream that I did, about the first week of the George Floyd, oh my God, now they got me saying it, of the Derek Chauvin trial, excuse me. I had mentioned about a witness who was an MMA fighter going on the stand and giving his, testimony, and he was talking about the death choke. Not even realizing that this audio that I'm about to play, which is absolutely perfection, was coming from the same person. Had I known that, I would have covered this in my live stream and I would have showed it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this piece right here that literally, out of everything that I think this guy said on the day that he was on the witness stand, I think this is the one that was very potent and that stuck out. Like, I can see this guy probably getting like a boatload of interviews just off of this one part of his testimony. Now, the clip is about 2 minutes long. I want y'all to listen carefully to how this man, whose name is Donald Williams, answered these questions. This right here is what every black person who has to go on a witness stand, when it pertains to cases such as these, if they get called, should handle these type of questions.
You called him a tough guy. I did. You called him a real man. I did. You called him such a man. I did. You called him bogus. I did. You called him a bum at least 13 times.
That's what you counted in the video?
That's what I counted.
And that's what you got, 13.
And that was early on, right? Those terms grew more and more angry. Would you agree with that?
They grew more and more pleading for life.
All right. After you called him a bum 13 times, you called him a
That's what you heard?
Did you say that?
Is that what you heard?
I'm asking you, sir. Did you say that?
You heard that. I'm pretty sure you did.
You call him a
If that's what you heard, I'm sure that's what
I'm asking you. Did you say that?
If that's what the video recorded, so I did.
You called him a bitch.
If that's the video you heard from the video.
It's a yes or no, sir.
If that's what was heard in the video, yes, I did.
And at one point, you said that Officer Tao pushed you.
That's correct. He put his hand in my chest, is what I said.
And you observed Officer Tao push someone else, right? Or feel like he pushed someone else?
I didn't let him touch anyone else.
Do you recall saying, "I dare you to touch me like that. I swear I'll slap the of both of you"?
Yeah, I did. I meant it.
Right. So again, sir, it's fair to say that you grew angrier and angrier.
No, I grew professional. I stayed in my body. You can't pay me out to be angry.
Okay, so y'all just heard that right there, and that's the testimony that has literally gone viral that everyone is talking about right now. And let me tell you something right now. That has got to be one of the best, I think, cross-examinations that I have ever seen or heard in my life. And I've heard quite a few of them. And this one right here shows how it shall be done and how it should be conducted. The way that this attorney, and this the person who's questioning him is, of course, an attorney for Derek Chauvin, was questioning this man as if he was the one on trial, as if he was the one that was responsible. See, because that's the thing. They were trying their best to point out or to paint out that the witnesses were the cause for George Floyd not getting any aid, when it was the people that were trying to see what was going on. But they said Officer Tao, who was the little short munchkin Asian terrorist that was responsible for, they said that he was pushed and he was the one that did it and everything like that, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he was literally trying to bait this man Donald Williams into saying something that could possibly incriminate him or also make it look good on Derek Chauvin's behalf. He didn't take the bait. He didn't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, because he knew if he answered yes to those questions, in which he responded so cleverly with, "Is that what it said on the video?" If he had said yes, that would have been a leg up for the defense, which would have not been good for those representing George Floyd. So this actually gives the George Floyd side a leg up, and it gives the defense for Derek Chauvin some pegs knocked back down. So now they got to go back to square one. See, they didn't know who they met their match that day. They were playing checkers while he was playing chess. But two of my favorite lines that he said in this testimony when he was on that stand was, "I stayed in my body." Basically saying, I restrained myself. He also said, when the attorney was asking him or telling him, or when he was, cursing Derek Chauvin out, he was saying, "So you grew angrier and angrier." He was expecting Donald Williams to say, "Yes, I was." But Donald Williams did not fall for that either. He said, "No, I grew professional and professional. You can't paint me out to be an angry black man." Boom, mic drop. At that point, I bet the attorney probably had nothing else to say pertaining to that. If he did, he probably said no more questions, or he probably went on to something else that he could try to get this guy out. But at that point, he knew he couldn't get anything out of this man. So he probably has said, "You know what, Your Honor, no more questions." And he said, "Fine." Unless people for George Floyd had to come up and question him, they would have said, "Okay, you're good. You can step down from the bench." See, the thing is, when you are on that stand, your job is to, while being truthful, don't give them too much. And that's exactly what he did. He was being honest, but he wasn't giving them everything that they wanted. This guy has probably sat in situations like this before, and he knows how to handle this type of pressure. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't know how to handle that kind of pressure. Like, we buckle too fast. But maybe, before you go on a witness stand one day, and hopefully it doesn't come to that, especially in a situation such as this, but just in case, look to this video right here. Look to this audio. Look to what you just heard. And let that be a lesson. Let that be a stepping stone. So when that time comes for you, if it does come, that you know how to conduct yourself in those type of situations. Don't give them too much. He didn't give them anything at all, and I love it. He had that attorney sweating. He was like, "Okay, I'm not going to get nothing out of this guy." And the thing is, they can't hold him in contempt of court. They can't say he's being, this perjury, because he's not saying yes, nor is he saying no. He said, "You watched the video. You know how many times I said it. Why are you asking something? Why are you asking a question that you obviously and clearly know the answer to? You're just trying to bait me, and you're trying to sway things in your way." And he says, I know what you're trying to do, and it's not going to work, because if I answer this question a certain way, it's going to look good for y'all and bad for who I'm here for, whose behalf I'm here for. So there's that. And shout out again to Donald Williams. That's his name. I said I was not going to make this video until I found out this man's name. And I'm glad I found out. Good looking through the comment section, and I had to look through a lot of comments to finally stumble across what his name was, but we found it. But kudos to this man for getting up there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to those who are listening, if you want to know what being on code looks and sound like, Exhibit A. That's how it's done. And he held his composure. He didn't sweat. He didn't stumble over his words. He was very respectful and all of that. Answered all the questions and didn't hesitate on anything. His voice didn't crack. He he conducted himself like he was supposed to up on that stand. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you have not done so already. Make sure that you text the number that is pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video or go live.